Hello, and welcome to our deep dive into one of the most transformative events in human history, the Second World War. This wasn't just a war, it was a global cataclysm that reshaped societies and set the stage for the world we live in today. Let's explore how this monumental conflict unfolded and why its legacy endures. In 1939, the world stood on a knife's edge. Tensions that had been simmering for years finally boiled over, plunging the planet into a conflict of unprecedented scale. Nations quickly aligned into two massive opposing factions: the Allies, a coalition led by countries like Great Britain, the Soviet Union, and later, the United States, and the Axis powers, primarily Germany, Italy, and Japan. What began as a series of regional disputes soon ignited a global firestorm, marking the start of World War II. The declaration of war in September 1939 was not just a political act. It was the trigger for a chain reaction that would engulf nearly every corner of the globe. Each nation joined for its own reasons, driven by ideology, ambition, or the desperate need for self-preservation, creating a complex web of alliances that would define the next 6 years of struggle and sacrifice. As the war machine roared to life, it demanded a level of commitment never seen before. This was total war. Entire nations mobilized, not just their armies, but their entire populations and economies. Over 100 million military personnel were eventually mobilized from countries around the world, making it the largest military mobilization in history. But the war effort extended far beyond the front lines. Back home, factories that once produced cars and consumer goods were retooled to churn out tanks, planes, and munitions at a staggering rate. Scientific innovation was pushed to its limits, with researchers racing to develop new technologies, from radar and jet engines to atomic weapons. Every resource, economic, industrial, and scientific, was harnessed and directed towards a single goal: victory. This immense coordinated effort transformed societies, blurring the lines between soldier and civilian, and demonstrating the colossal power of a nation fully dedicated to war. The conflict wasn't confined to a single front. It was a truly worldwide struggle, fought across multiple theaters of war, each with its own unique challenges and pivotal moments. In Europe, the war began with swift invasions that brought much of the continent under Axis control. The fighting stretched from the frigid Eastern Front, where Germany and the Soviet Union clashed in some of the largest and deadliest battles in history, to the skies over Britain and the fields of France. In North Africa, Allied and Axis forces battled for control of vital supply routes in the unforgiving desert. Meanwhile, in Asia and the Pacific, long-standing tensions erupted into open warfare. The conflict expanded rapidly, pulling in countries from across the Americas, Asia, and Africa. Each new nation that entered the fray added another layer of complexity to this global chess match, turning local battles into a connected, worldwide war where an event on one continent could have dramatic consequences on another. For years, the war raged with ferocious intensity, swinging back and forth as both sides fought for dominance. However, a series of critical turning points began to shift the momentum decisively in favor of the Allies. These were not single events, but a combination of strategic victories across land, sea, and air. On the Eastern Front, the brutal Battle of Stalingrad ended in a catastrophic defeat for the German army, marking the beginning of their long retreat. In the Pacific, the naval Battle of Midway crippled the Japanese fleet, halting their advance and allowing the Allies to go on the offensive. The D-Day landings in Normandy in June 1944 opened a crucial second front in Western Europe, putting immense pressure on Germany. These large-scale operations, combined with countless other battles and strategic campaigns, gradually broke the back of the Axis powers. Each victory was hard-won, often at a tremendous cost, but together they turned the tide, steering the course of the war toward its ultimate conclusion. By 1945, the relentless Allied advance on all fronts led to the collapse of the Axis powers. With the surrender of Germany in May and Japan in September, the most destructive war in history finally came to an end. The world that emerged from the rubble was profoundly changed. The old European empires were weakened, and a new global power structure began to form, dominated by two emerging superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. Their ideological rivalry would shape international politics for decades to come in an era known as the Cold War. In the immediate aftermath, powerful desire to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again led to the creation of the United Nations. This new international body was founded on the principles of cooperation, diplomacy, and collective security, aiming to provide a forum for nations to resolve disputes peacefully. The end of the war marked the dawn of a new, uncertain, but hopeful era. The legacy of World War II is vast and deeply embedded in our modern world. It redrew national borders, toppled empires, and gave birth to new nations. It spurred technological advancements that continue to shape our lives, from computing and aviation to nuclear energy. Socially, it transformed societies, accelerating movements for civil rights and women's rights in many countries. The immense human cost, with tens of millions of lives lost, left an indelible scar on the global consciousness and fundamentally changed attitudes toward war and conflict. The institutions and alliances forged in the war's aftermath continue to influence global politics today. Understanding this conflict is not just about looking at the past, it's about understanding the forces that have shaped the world we inhabit. The echoes of World War II are all around us, a constant reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of global cooperation. If you found this exploration of World War II insightful, please give this video a like, share it with others who are passionate about history, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.